This sign means A. Trucks entering. B. Truck exit only. C. Steep downgrade ahead. C. Steep downgrade ahead. This sign warns that a steep downgrade is ahead on the road. Drivers should check their brakes. This sign indicates that the road ahead A. Turns sharply right, then left. B. Curves right, then left. C. Curves right. You may pass a vehicle when A. You are on a hill or curve. B. You are on a road with a solid line next to your lane. C. You are on a road with a broken line next to your lane. C. You are on a road with a broken line next to your lane. A single broken line indicates that drivers may cross from either lane to change lanes. Dashed yellow lines alongside solid yellow lines indicate that passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken line, but not from the lane next to the solid line. Only change lanes when it is safe to do so. If your vehicle begins to skid, you should A. Ease up on the gas pedal. B. Brake as hard as possible. C. Turn off the ignition. A. Ease up on the gas pedal. If your vehicle begins to skid, release the accelerator or brake pedal to regain vehicle balance. Steer in the direction of the skid to regain control of the vehicle.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
When driving at night on a dimly lit street, you should A. Drive slowly enough that you can stop within the area illuminated by your headlights. B. Turn on your high-beam headlights to better see the vehicles ahead of you. C. Keep the instrument panel lights bright to be more visible to other drivers. A. Drive slowly enough that you can stop within the area illuminated by your headlights. You should drive more slowly at night than during the day because it is not possible to see as far ahead at night. You should make sure that you can stop within the area illuminated by your headlights. When changing lanes. A. Rely on the rear-view mirror. B. Look over your shoulder in the direction you plan to move. C. Rely on the left side mirror. B. Look over your shoulder in the direction you plan to move. When changing lanes, glance over your shoulder to check for traffic in your blind spot. You may need to look several times before changing lanes. You must keep track of what traffic is doing in front of you as well as what traffic is doing in the lane next to you. If you come to an intersection and your view to the side is blocked, you should A. Slow down and look both ways. B. Maintain your speed and look both ways. C. Stop, then inch forward until you can see clearly in both directions. C. Stop, then inch forward until you can see clearly in both directions. Drivers must slow down when approaching an intersection. If a clear view of cross traffic is obscured, a driver should come to a stop and inch forward until they can see clearly in both directions. At intersections with a yield sign, you must A. Yield the right-of-way to cross traffic that is near enough to cause conflict. B. Yield the right-of-way only to vehicles on your right. C. Always slow down and proceed without stopping. A. Yield the right-of-way to cross traffic that is near enough to cause conflict. At a yield sign, you must slow down or stop, if necessary, and give the right of way to crossing or merging vehicles. Yield the right of way to any cross traffic that is close enough to cause conflict. This road sign means A. You are about to enter a one-way street from the wrong direction. B. U-turns are prohibited. C. You may proceed if the way is clear. A. You are about to enter a one-way street from the wrong direction. This sign marks a one-way road, entrance, or exit. If you are facing this sign, traffic is coming toward you. Turn around if you are driving toward this sign. When driving on the highway, consistently looking far ahead of your vehicle. A. Helps you keep up with traffic. B. Reduces the need for last-minute braking or turning. C. Allows you to spot upcoming police officers. B. Reduces the need for last-minute braking or turning. To avoid the need for last-minute braking or turning, consistently watch the road far ahead of your vehicle. By looking ahead and being ready to stop or change lanes if needed, you can drive more safely, save fuel, and help keep traffic moving at a steady pace. This sign means A. Pedestrian crossing. B. Side road. C. Railroad ahead. A. Pedestrian crossing. This sign indicates that there is a pedestrian crosswalk. Which of the following is not a safe driving practice when driving on the interstate? A. Slower traffic must keep to the right. B. Change lanes without signaling. C. If you miss your exit, you must go to the next exit. This road sign means A. Do not enter. B. Roundabout ahead. C. No U-turns. C. No U-turns. Regulatory signs provide notice to road users of traffic laws that must be obeyed. This sign tells drivers that it is prohibited to make a U-turn. A diamond-shaped sign means A. Yield. B. Stop. C. Warning. C. Warning. Diamond-shaped signs are used to warn drivers of special conditions or hazards ahead. They are typically yellow or orange in color. You are approaching an intersection at the posted speed limit when the signal turns yellow. You should A. Slow down and proceed through the intersection without caution. B. Speed up to cross the intersection before the light turns red. C. Stop before entering the intersection, if you can do so safely. C. Stop before entering the intersection, if you can do so safely. A solid yellow light means caution, and signals that the light will soon turn red. You should stop at a solid yellow light if you can do so safely. Otherwise, you should cautiously cross the intersection. If the rear of your vehicle is skidding to the left, you should A. Not turn your steering wheel. B. Turn your steering wheel to the left to correct the skid. C. Turn your steering wheel to the right to correct the skid. B. Turn your steering wheel to the left to correct the skid. If you begin to skid on a wet or icy road, take your foot off the accelerator, stay off the brakes, and turn your steering wheel in the direction of the skid. However, if you have anti-lock brakes, you should apply your brakes firmly and steer straight ahead. you may pass on the right of another vehicle? A. When traveling either on a multi-lane highway or on a street with an available turning lane. B. Only when traveling on a multi-lane highway with 2 or more lanes of traffic traveling in the same direction. C. Only when the other vehicle is making or is about to make a left turn and a lane is provided for you to pass on the right. A. When traveling either on a multi-lane highway or on a street with an available turning lane. You may pass on the right of another vehicle making or about to make a left turn if there is sufficient pavement width for both your vehicle and the vehicle making the left turn. You may also pass on the right when traveling on a multi-lane highway carrying 2 or more lanes of traffic in the same direction. The maximum speed limit on a rural interstate highway is A. 60 miles per hour. B. 70 miles per hour. C. 55 miles per hour. B. 70 miles per hour. The maximum traveling speed is 70 miles per hour on a rural interstate in Georgia. You should follow this speed limit when traveling on a rural interstate unless the speed limit is otherwise posted. When driving in fog, you should A. Use your high beam headlights. B. Use your parking lights. C. Use your low beam headlights. C. Use your low beam headlights. Drivers should use low beam headlights when driving in fog. High beams will reflect back at the driver, making it difficult to see. This sign means A. No left turn can be made here. B. A left turn can be made only after stopping. C. All traffic must turn right at the next intersection. When changing lanes, you can check your blind spot by A. Using the inside rearview mirror. B. Turning your head and looking over your shoulder. C. Using your side mirror. B. Turning your head and looking over your shoulder. Even if your vehicle is properly equipped with mirrors, there are blind spots that cannot be seen by using the mirrors. Before changing lanes, look over your shoulder to check these areas. You are coming to an intersection with a flashing red light. You should A. Slow down and yield the right of way. B. Slow down and drive carefully through the intersection. C. Come to a complete stop, check the traffic, and go when it is safe to do so. C. Come to a complete stop, check the traffic, and go when it is safe to do so. A flashing red traffic light means the same thing as a stop sign. You must come to a complete stop, yield to other traffic and pedestrians, and then proceed when it's safe to do so. At a school crossing sign, you should A. Always stop, whether there is a stop sign or not. B. Watch for children and be ready to stop. C. Always sound your horn when you see children. B. Watch for children and be ready to stop. Pentagonal signs mean you are approaching a school zone and/or school crossing. When you see these signs, be alert and prepare to stop. This sign means A. You are approaching the end of a divided highway. B. You are approaching the beginning of a divided highway. C. The road will be slippery ahead. B. You are approaching the beginning of a divided highway. This sign indicates that a divided highway begins ahead. Keep to the right of the median divider. This sign means A. Two-way traffic. B. Change in direction ahead. C. School zone and crossing. A. Two-way traffic. This sign informs drivers that they are leaving a divided roadway and approaching a two-way highway. When you approach an octagonal sign, you must A. Slow. B. Stop. C. Turn. B. Stop. An octagonal, 8-sided, sign always means, stop. Come to a complete stop. Yield to traffic and pedestrians that have the right of way, and proceed when the way is clear. This sign means A. Slow-moving vehicle. B. Road construction maintenance area. C. Traffic signal ahead. A. Slow-moving vehicle. This sign is displayed on slow-moving vehicles. When driving under low visibility conditions due to fog, you should A. Turn on your high beam headlights. B. Slow down and use your low beam headlights. C. Increase your speed so you do not cause an accident. B. Slow down and use your low beam headlights. When driving in fog, you should slow down and use your low beam lights. If the fog is so dense that you cannot see, pull off the road and wait for the fog to clear. When you see this sign, you should A. Watch for traffic merging from the right. B. Merge right. C. Turn left. A. Watch for traffic merging from the right. Warning signs alert drivers to upcoming hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers about potential traffic merging into their lane from the right. This sign is used to warn drivers about A. Upcoming intersections. B. Road construction. C. Road curves ahead. C. Road curves ahead. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. This sign is used to warn drivers about an upcoming curve to the right. When you see this sign, you should stop in A. Check for vehicles only in the direction that you plan on going, then proceed. B. Let all vehicles that arrive before or after you go first. C. Check for traffic in all directions before proceeding. C. Check for traffic in all directions before proceeding. At a stop sign, you must come to a full stop and check for traffic in all directions before proceeding. This road sign means A. Intersection ahead. B. Merging traffic. C. Steep hill ahead. C. Steep hill ahead. Warning signs provide notice to road users of a situation that might not be readily apparent and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers of an upcoming steep hill. Drivers should adjust their speed accordingly to avoid collisions and brake damage. You exit the freeway on a ramp that curves downhill. You should A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. B. Slow to the posted speed limit for the freeway. C. Wait until you have entered the curve to begin braking. A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. You should always slow down before entering a curve. You may not be able to see hazards ahead and braking in a curve may cause your vehicle to skid. This sign means A. Reserved parking for persons with disabilities. B. Slow-moving vehicle. C. No U-turn. A. Reserved parking for persons with disabilities. This sign indicates parking spaces that are reserved for vehicles displaying persons with disabilities license plates, disabled veteran license plates, and/or disabled parking placards. This road sign means A. Cars in the right lane must slow down. B. No left turn. C. Merge. C. Merge. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign indicates that there could be traffic merging from the right, so drivers should prepare to allow traffic to safely merge. At a railroad crossing, you must A. Watch for vehicles that must stop at all railroad crossings, school buses, trucks carrying hazardous materials, etc. B. Watch for multiple trains. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. You must approach all railroad crossings with extreme caution and cross only when you know that no train is coming from either direction. Be aware of vehicles that must stop at all railroad crossings, such as school buses and trucks carrying hazardous materials. Blue traffic signs offer information on A. Motorist services. B. Construction and maintenance. C. Mileage information, such as distances to specific locations. A. Motorist services. Blue signs on the roadway are service signs. They are used to provide information about motorist services, such as upcoming rest areas, food options, or nearby hospitals. This yellow sign means A. One lane ahead. B. Merging traffic ahead. C. Lane ends ahead. B. Merging traffic ahead. This sign warns of the possible presence of merging traffic. When driving on a slippery surface, such as snow or ice. A. Shift to a low gear before going down steep hills. B. Maintain traction by following other vehicles closely. C. Pump your brakes to keep them from freezing. A. Shift to a low gear before going down steep hills. To prevent skidding on slippery surfaces, you should shift to a low gear before going down a steep hill. You should also follow farther behind the vehicle in front of you than you normally would. Quick stops should be avoided. Unless you have anti-lock brakes, pump the brakes to slow or stop. On a green arrow, you must A. Yield to any vehicle, bicycle, or pedestrian in the intersection. B. Yield to pedestrians only in the intersection. C. Wait 4 seconds before proceeding. A. Yield to any vehicle, bicycle, or pedestrian in the intersection. A green arrow means, go. You must turn in the direction the arrow is pointing after you yield to any vehicles, bicycles, or pedestrians who are still in the intersection.